These 15,000 cocoa beans will become 50,000 Lindor truffles in the next 6 hours, each one containing a center so smooth it begins melting the moment it touches your tongue. The secret lies in 72 hours of continuous processing that no other chocolate maker attempts. A technique invented in 1879 that transformed grainy chocolate into liquid silk. Today, we follow every step inside one of Switzerland's most guarded chocolate operations to reveal how they create that irresistible melting sensation 2 million times per day. The Lindt factory in Kilchberg has produced chocolate since 1899. Over 125 years later, their truffles remain the world's best-selling premium chocolate spheres. What makes a Lindor truffle different isn't just taste, it's physics. The shell must be thick enough to protect yet thin enough to shatter. The center must be solid at room temperature yet liquefy instantly from body heat. Rodolphe Lindt discovered that extended processing could transform chocolate's texture entirely. His 1879 invention created an industry and defined Swiss chocolate excellence forever. 4 core ingredients create the Lindor experience: Swiss milk chocolate, cocoa butter, hazelnuts, and vanilla. Their proportions remain unchanged since the original recipe's creation. Every truffle follows an identical path through 11 production stages. From raw cocoa to wrapped sphere, the journey takes exactly 8 hours but begins 72 hours before molding even starts. The journey begins with cocoa beans arriving from Ghana and Ecuador in climate-controlled containers. Each origin contributes distinct flavor notes that blend into Lindt's signature taste. Ghanaian beans provide robust chocolate intensity while Ecuadorian beans add floral complexity. The precise blend ratio remains one of Lindt's most closely guarded secrets. Cocoa butter arrives separately, pressed from additional beans at origin facilities. This pure fat determines the chocolate's melt point and that signature snap when you bite through. Swiss alpine milk arrives daily from certified farms within 100 kilometers. The fresh dairy provides the creamy sweetness that distinguishes Swiss milk chocolate from darker varieties. Sugar crystals must meet exact specifications for size and purity. Oversized crystals would survive processing and create unwanted grittiness in the finished chocolate. Italian hazelnuts arrive pre-roasted and ground into paste. This nut butter enriches certain truffle varieties and creates the distinctive flavor of Lindt's hazelnut offerings. Madagascar vanilla beans provide aromatic complexity. Just 3 grams of this precious spice flavors over 1,000 truffles with its distinctive warmth. Before any ingredient enters production, laboratory technicians conduct over 40 tests. Moisture content, microbial counts, heavy metals, and flavor profiles must all pass Swiss standards. Rejected ingredients return to suppliers immediately. Lindt accepts no compromises because any weakness in raw materials amplifies through 72 hours of processing. Approved cocoa beans travel to roasting ovens where heat unlocks their flavor potential. The roasting profile varies by origin to extract each bean's optimal characteristics. Roasting temperatures reach 130 degrees Celsius for exactly 22 minutes. This precise timing develops over 400 flavor compounds hidden within each bean. The roasted beans pass through winnowing machines that crack shells and separate them from the valuable nibs inside. Only these inner fragments continue to chocolate production. Grinding mills crush the nibs under massive stone wheels. The pressure and friction generate heat that liquefies the cocoa butter within, creating a thick paste called cocoa liquor. This cocoa liquor contains approximately 55% fat suspended in solid cocoa particles. The transformation from gritty paste to smooth chocolate requires the next critical stage. Mixing tanks combine cocoa liquor with additional cocoa butter, milk powder, and sugar. The proportions follow recipes developed over decades of refinement. The mixture emerges as crude chocolate paste, still containing particles large enough to feel on your tongue. What happens next separates ordinary chocolate from Lindt's legendary smoothness. 5-roll refiners crush the chocolate between massive steel cylinders spinning at different speeds. Each pass reduces particle size until they become imperceptible to human senses. The refined chocolate emerges as paper-thin flakes scraped from the final roller. These flakes contain particles smaller than 20 microns, below the detection threshold of the human tongue. The refined flakes enter Lindt's legendary conching machines. These massive vessels will process the chocolate continuously for the next 72 hours without interruption. Rodolphe Lindt invented conching by accident in 1879 when he left a mixing machine running overnight. He returned to find chocolate transformed beyond recognition. The name conching comes from the shell-shaped vessels originally used. Modern machines are rectangular, but the principle remains identical to Lindt's original discovery. Heavy granite rollers plow through the chocolate mass, generating friction heat that keeps the mixture liquid. This mechanical action redistributes fat molecules around every solid particle. During the first 24 hours, conching primarily removes unwanted volatile compounds. Acetic acid and other harsh notes evaporate, leaving smoother flavor behind. Temperature rises to 60 degrees Celsius during this phase. Hot enough to drive off acids, but cool enough to preserve delicate cocoa butter crystal structures forming within. The second day transforms texture. Constant agitation coats every microscopic cocoa particle with a thin layer of cocoa butter, eliminating any remaining sensation of grittiness. By hour 48, the chocolate flows like honey. But Lindt continues another full day because optimal flavor development requires the complete 72-hour cycle. The final 24 hours develop the mellow, rounded flavor profile Lindt customers recognize. Harsh edges soften and complex flavor notes integrate into harmonious balance. Most chocolate makers conch for 12 to 24 hours. Lindt's commitment to 72 hours triples production time but creates texture no shorter process can match. 6 conching machines operate continuously in rotation. As one batch completes, another enters, maintaining constant output despite the 3-day processing requirement. The fully conched chocolate now faces its most critical test. Sensory panels evaluate each batch for flavor, aroma, and that essential melt-in-mouth quality before approving production use. Rejected batches return to conching for additional processing. Only chocolate scoring above 92 points on Lindt's internal scale proceeds to truffle production. Approved chocolate flows to tempering stations. But for truffles, the chocolate splits into 2 streams, one for shells and one for the irresistible melting center. The shell chocolate receives standard tempering treatment. The filling chocolate gets modified with additional cocoa butter to lower its melting point below body temperature. This melting point differential creates the Lindor experience. The shell remains solid until you bite through. Then the center transforms to liquid silk from your body heat alone. Tempering machines cycle both chocolates through precise temperature stages. Shell chocolate reaches 31 degrees. Filling chocolate stabilizes at 28 degrees. The tempered chocolates now flow toward the molding lines. Maintaining exact temperatures during transfer prevents crystal structure damage that would ruin texture in the finished truffles. 72 hours of processing converge on the next 60 seconds. Everything Lindt has refined since 1879 depends on what happens in the truffle molding stations ahead. 2 million truffles will form today. Each must contain exactly the right proportion of shell to filling, creating identical experiences for customers on every continent. The truffle molding process begins with shell formation. Polycarbonate molds, containing 60 half-sphere cavities, arrive at the first depositing station. Depositors release precisely measured shell chocolate into each cavity. The amount must coat the interior completely while leaving room for the filling to come. Spinning stations rotate each mold at exactly 40 revolutions per minute. Centrifugal force spreads chocolate evenly up the cavity walls, forming uniform shell thickness. The chocolate climbs to within 2 millimeters of the cavity rim. Any higher, and the shell won't seal properly. Any lower, and the filling proportion becomes incorrect. Cooling air blows across the spinning molds, setting the chocolate shells in place. The rotation continues until shells can maintain their shape without support. The shells must achieve specific hardness before filling. Too soft and they'll collapse. Too hard and the filling won't bond properly to the interior surface. Now comes the moment that defines every Lindor truffle. The filling depositors position above the shell-lined molds, ready to inject the irresistibly smooth center. Each nozzle releases exactly 4.2 grams of filling chocolate. This creates the perfect shell-to-center ratio that melts across your entire palate simultaneously. The filling settles into its chocolate cradle, finding the lowest point of each hemisphere. Surface tension keeps it centered, preparing for the sealing stage ahead. A second mold containing matching shells inverts and descends toward the filled bases. This marriage will create complete spheres sealed together by chocolate alone. The molds meet with calculated pressure. The shell rims, still slightly soft from recent formation, fuse together into seamless spheres with no visible seam lines. Vibration tables settle any remaining air pockets. The filled truffles must contain no voids that could compromise texture or allow the filling to shift during shipping. The sealed molds enter cooling tunnels where temperature drops from ambient to 12 degrees over 15 minutes. This gradual cooling prevents thermal shock that could crack shells. Inside the tunnel, chocolate crystals complete their formation. The controlled environment ensures uniform hardness throughout every truffle in the batch. After cooling, the molds separate to reveal perfect chocolate spheres. Compressed air pulses release truffles that could otherwise stick to the polished surfaces. The naked truffles roll onto conveyor belts, 60 at a time from each mold cycle. Their surfaces show the matte finish of uncoated chocolate, not yet ready for consumers. Quality vision systems photograph every truffle from multiple angles. Misshapen spheres or visible seam lines trigger immediate rejection before coating begins. Rejected truffles drop into collection bins for reprocessing. The chocolate will be remelted, but the labor invested in their formation cannot be recovered. Accepted truffles continue toward the enrobing station. Here they'll receive the glossy outer coating that provides both beauty and additional protection. The enrober creates a continuous curtain of tempered chocolate falling like a waterfall. Truffles pass through this curtain, emerging completely coated in fresh chocolate. Air knives blow excess chocolate from each truffle's surface. The precise airflow creates uniform coating thickness without displacing the truffle from its position. The wet coating must set before truffles contact anything. A gentle cooling zone firms the outer layer while maintaining the interior's carefully engineered melt characteristics. Decoration systems create the signature Lindt swirl atop each truffle. Thin chocolate streams trace precise patterns as truffles pass beneath automated decorating heads. The swirl identifies both brand and flavor. Red wrappers contain milk chocolate swirls. Dark chocolate truffles receive dark swirls. Each variety follows its own pattern code. A final cooling pass hardens the decorative elements. The truffles now carry their complete chocolate architecture, ready for the protective wrapping ahead. Each truffle now weighs exactly 12.5 grams. Precision scales verify every piece, rejecting any that fall outside the acceptable half-gram tolerance. The completed truffles accumulate in climate-controlled staging areas. Temperature holds at 18 degrees, cool enough to preserve texture but warm enough to prevent condensation. Wrapping machines wait ahead, their aluminum foil supplies gleaming under factory lights. Each truffle will receive its iconic twisted wrapper within seconds. The wrapping process happens at extraordinary speed. A single machine wraps over 800 truffles per minute, faster than human eyes can track individual pieces. Robotic fingers grip each truffle and position it precisely on a foil square. The foil must center perfectly, or the iconic twist ends won't align properly. Folding mechanisms gather the foil edges upward, then twist them into the signature points that make Lindt truffles instantly recognizable in any store display. The wrapped truffle emerges in under half a second. What required 72 hours of conching, precise molding, and careful coating completes its transformation in an instant. Quality cameras verify every wrapper. Tears, misalignment, or missing twist ends cause immediate rejection even at 800 pieces per minute. Flavor-specific sorting separates the wrapped truffles into dedicated streams. Milk chocolate flows one direction. Hazelnut flows another. Each variety travels to its own packaging line. The iconic red milk chocolate truffles represent 60% of production. But caramel, dark chocolate, and white chocolate varieties each maintain dedicated processing streams. Manual inspection stations supplement automated systems. Human eyes catch subtle defects that cameras might miss, maintaining Lindt's reputation for perfect presentation. The wrapped truffles now enter secondary packaging. Whether destined for bags, boxes, or bulk bins, their journey from factory to consumer is nearly complete. Bag filling machines count exact quantities for retail packages. A standard bag contains 19 truffles, positioned to display the variety through clear packaging windows. Gift boxes require more complex assembly. Trays position truffles in precise arrangements that maximize visual appeal when recipients open their presents. Seasonal packaging receives special attention. Valentine hearts, Easter eggs, and Christmas ornaments transform standard truffles into holiday-specific offerings. Heat sealers close every package with tamper-evident seals. Consumers must know their truffles haven't been touched since leaving the factory floor. Metal detectors scan every sealed package. Even microscopic metal fragments from equipment wear would fail food safety standards and damage consumer trust. Weight verification confirms package contents match labels. Consumer protection laws require accuracy, and Lindt's reputation demands exceeding those minimums consistently. Date coding marks every package with production batch and expiration information. These codes enable full traceability from retail shelf back to specific production runs. The packages accumulate in collection bins organized by product type and destination market. Some head to European retailers. Others prepare for transoceanic shipping. Case packing combines multiple retail packages into shipping cartons. Automated systems arrange products for maximum protection and efficient shelf restocking. Each case holds 48 retail bags or 24 gift boxes depending on configuration. Standard quantities simplify inventory management throughout the supply chain. Shipping labels identify destination, contents, and handling requirements. Temperature-sensitive indicators accompany shipments to tropical markets where heat threatens product quality. From cocoa bean to sealed shipping case, the complete transformation has taken exactly 8 hours. But those hours followed 72 hours of conching that most chocolate never receives. The cases now await distribution that will carry these truffles to 120 countries. Swiss precision transformed into global indulgence. Palletizing robots stack cases with geometric precision. Weight distribution calculations ensure stable loads that won't shift during transport across continents. Standard pallets hold 60 cases containing over 2,000 individual truffle packages. A single truck carries 20 pallets, nearly 40,000 packages per shipment. Stretch wrap machines bind each pallet into a weather-resistant unit. The plastic film protects against moisture that could damage packaging during outdoor transfers. Temperature-controlled storage holds completed pallets before shipping. Chocolate must never exceed 21 degrees during storage, or the carefully tempered structure degrades. Refrigerated trucks arrive at loading docks throughout the day. Summer shipments require constant climate control from factory to final destination. Forklifts transfer pallets with practiced efficiency. Loading sequences place furthest destinations deepest in trailers, optimizing delivery route efficiency. Swiss highways connect the Kilchberg factory to European markets within hours. A truffle produced this morning could reach Munich or Milan stores by evening. Ocean containers carry bulk shipments to distant continents. 6 weeks at sea require careful temperature management to protect chocolate through tropical crossings. Air freight handles urgent orders and premium products. Gift box collections for Japanese department stores often travel by plane to ensure pristine arrival condition. Regional distribution centers break bulk shipments into retail orders. The Lindt network spans warehouses on every populated continent except Antarctica. Retail partners receive shipments configured for immediate shelf placement. Case dimensions fit standard retail fixtures, minimizing store labor for product presentation. Duty-free shops at major airports represent significant volume. Business travelers purchasing Swiss chocolate as gifts create concentrated demand at international hubs. Lindt's own retail stores maintain the highest presentation standards. Flagship locations in Zurich, New York, and Tokyo showcase the complete product range. Online orders ship directly from regional centers. Temperature-controlled packaging maintains quality even when delivery trucks lack refrigeration systems. Corporate gifting programs create seasonal volume spikes. Companies ordering thousands of Lindt gift sets for clients require dedicated production allocation months ahead. The truffles that began as cocoa beans now sit in stores spanning time zones from Zurich to Sydney. Their journey complete, they await the final consumer experience. From factory floor to store shelf, distribution takes between 2 days for Swiss retailers and 6 weeks for distant Asian markets. Each purchased truffle completes a supply chain spanning 3 continents. Ghanaian cocoa, Swiss processing, and global distribution united in a single chocolate sphere. The wrapper tears away to reveal the glossy sphere inside. 72 hours of processing and 8 hours of production await their final moment. Teeth break through the thin outer shell. The filling, engineered to melt at precisely body temperature, begins its transformation the instant it contacts warmth. The center liquefies, spreading across the palate with the smoothness only 72-hour conching can achieve. This is the moment everything built toward. That single truffle represents the culmination of over 100 years of Swiss chocolate mastery. From Rodolphe Lindt's accidental discovery to this exact sensory experience, 2 million more truffles will complete this same journey today. Tomorrow, another 2 million. The cycle of Swiss precision continues without pause. Every truffle carries the same promise that Rodolphe Lindt made when he invented conching. Chocolate so smooth it melts before you can chew it. The Kilchberg factory has kept that promise for over 125 years and keeps it 2 million times every day the lines operate. Throughout production, quality systems capture over 30,000 data points per hour. Artificial intelligence identifies patterns invisible to human observation. Predictive algorithms detect equipment drift before it affects products. Conching machines losing optimal performance trigger maintenance alerts 12 hours before quality suffers. Every rejected truffle feeds continuous improvement databases. Engineers trace patterns to root causes and implement permanent corrections across all production lines. Retained samples from every batch remain in temperature-controlled archives for 3 years. If quality questions arise, original production can be retested against complaints. Daily sensory panels evaluate random samples from active production. Expert tasters compare current output against master standards maintained since original recipe creation. Accelerated aging tests subject truffles to elevated temperatures for weeks. Any degradation reveals shelf life limitations before products reach consumers. Third-party laboratories verify internal quality claims quarterly. Independent testing provides credibility that internal metrics alone cannot achieve. Food safety auditors inspect the facility unannounced throughout the year. Swiss and international certifications require demonstrated compliance at any moment. Cocoa sourcing programs verify sustainable farming practices at origin. Lindt traces every bean to specific cooperatives meeting ethical and environmental standards. Water recycling systems process over 85% of production wastewater. What exits the facility exceeds Swiss environmental standards for purity. Energy efficiency initiatives reduce electricity consumption while expanding production capacity. Solar panels supplement Swiss hydroelectric power for renewable operation. Cocoa shell waste becomes agricultural compost or biofuel. The circular approach ensures virtually zero organic material reaches landfills. The quality systems protecting these truffles represent over a century of refinement. Each improvement builds on lessons from billions of spheres produced since 1904. From cocoa farm to consumer's mouth, quality guardians monitor every transition. The truffle in your hand carries invisible guarantees of Swiss precision. Every truffle must meet the same standard whether purchased in Zurich or Zanzibar. Global consistency defines the Lindt promise across all markets. The transformation is complete. What began as 15,000 cocoa beans now exists as 50,000 spheres of Swiss chocolate precision. Each truffle contains 12.5 grams of chocolate processed for 72 hours, molded in seconds, and engineered to melt at exactly 37 degrees. The conching that creates this smoothness, the tempering that ensures this snap, the filling that delivers this melt happened 2 million times today alone. From cocoa bean to wrapped truffle, the journey takes 80 hours. Yet the traditions enabling this transformation span over 145 years of Swiss mastery. The next time you unwrap a Lindt truffle, consider the invisible precision behind that melting center. Decades of refinement, thousands of workers, and one accidental discovery in 1879. What appears as a simple chocolate sphere is actually a monument to Swiss engineering. 72 hours compressed into a sensation lasting seconds. The filling inside will taste identical whether open today or 11 months from now. That consistency is what Swiss chocolate mastery truly delivers. 2 million truffles per day, 120 countries, one irresistibly smooth center. Swiss cocoa transformed into liquid silk, ready for the world.